Welcome to another lovely episode of Accessible Airwaves on CJSW 9.9 FM.
This program is dedicated
to the education and exploration of disabled life,
giving voice to the life and experience of people with disabilities.
We cover a wide array of issues and disabilities.
We are people who discuss issues we are passionate about
and topics we are interested in.
We show how disability is in the mind of the beholder.
So, hello, my name is Adam. You are listening to Accessible Airways on 90.9 FM in Calgary. I'm joined on the phone with Graeme Wyman, the program coordinator from the Vancouver Adapted Music Society, or VAMS for short. They are the leader in Western Canada when it comes to promoting and developing music talent for people with physical disabilities. Welcome back to the show, Graeme.
Hey, Adam. Thanks for having me.
No worries. How have you been since the last time we had this interview?
Yeah, no, I've been well, thanks. I've been well. Our programs have been continuing, which is nice, and we've had a few different expansions since we pivoted back in March. So, yeah, no, it's going well, thanks.
Oh, thank you. Can you share with the listeners a little bit about your role in VAMS?
Yeah, so I'm the program coordinator, so I've been with the organization for about 6 years, and primarily I oversee and run our music lessons, our recording sessions, before the pandemic, our live performances in the Lower Mainland and Sunshine Coast and different areas across BC. And, that's kind of what I've been doing. And then also, since we've been pivoting, I run what we call our collaboration songs. So we get a bunch of our clients together and we produce specific tracks.
Okay, yeah. So, Graeme, you're doing the virtual concerts right now that VAMS is doing right now. Today, I'd like to talk about one of the Digger Dan and the Dirt Brigade. Who is in the band?
Yeah, so Digger Dan and the Dirt Brigade started about 5 years ago. The main songwriter and artist is Daniel Sloan, otherwise known as Digger Dan. It's a trio, a blues kind of funk and blues and rock trio. On drums is the co-founder of the Vancouver Adapted Music Society, Dave Symington, and then myself on bass.
Ooh, so that's what I saw on YouTube, all three of you guys jamming together.
Yeah.
What's the writing process with a group of musicians?
So specifically with Danny's group, Danny will come with certain ideas, and then, chord structure, lyrical content, and then we really just kind of, curate it for a while. Whether that's, Dave and I coming and really kind of finding that pocket for the kind of rhythm section. That's normally kind of one way we kind of go with stuff. Another way is literally just jamming and just trying to figure out what fits, and then Danny again will go away, kind of pick and choose what he liked from certain sessions, and then come back. And the nice thing about working with this group is there's no overlying like large egos. It's very much a give and take process where everyone's very open to seeing things changed or kind of adapting it in certain, using the pun, but adapting it in certain ways. And just seeing, the music coming first, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Can you paint a picture for the listeners what they could see if they watch the virtual concerts and the disabilities with the guys in the band?
Yeah, so normally Danny's, Danny would be kind of like front and center. In this particular one, just again, social distancing protocols, we kind of had them split. So Danny's the front man, then Dave and I we just kind of lay back behind him and just kind of keep that beat going.
Cool. Yeah, because I saw the YouTube video, and could you tell me a little bit more about Dave's drum kit?
Yeah, so what Dave actually plays, Roland has made since the 80s what are called octopads. So basically, it's an eight-pad drum set, or not drum set, but it plays essentially what a drum set would be. So one of the pads is, say, your kick, another pad's your snare, another pad's the tom, and so on and so forth. And so what Dave does is he actually plays with two of them. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, they're on either left and right hand side, and so Dave would normally be doing cymbals kind of with one hand, and then kick and snare with the other, and then if he's doing a fill, he kind of incorporates both of them together. We've been using those since the late 80s.
Ooh, that's really cool, because I saw that one, and also the lead guitarist had his guitar pedals on his lap also, too.
Yeah, no, Danny's got quite the interesting rig, because he, when the weather's good, he normally goes out and busts around the Lower Mainland. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're correct. So he's very self-sufficient in the way that he sets himself up. And there's actually, if you type in Digger Dan guitar rig, I believe it's under on YouTube, you'll be able to see a bunch of a few different videos of how he actually goes about setting up his pedal board, how he gets his guitar on his wheelchair. I call him, he's almost like a tank when you watch him when he's got everything together. Yeah.
That sounds really cool, actually, that those two are adapting to their disability, just not the regular drums that you see with different bands, but they're just adapting to what they have for their needs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you watch some of our clients and things like that, or some of the adaptations, and something can be small, but it just however it works, and you're just able to play music and get that out, right?
I would agree. Could you tell me a little bit more about Guy's Garage?
Sure. So, Guy's Garage was actually written for a Spinal Cord Injury BC event that they host called Guy's Garage. And long story short, it was an event that Danny, Dave, and I played once a year before, obviously, the pandemic. It's normally in June. And it's just an event just to kind of, again, celebrate, disability around the Lower Mainland in BC. And so the song really was, Danny wrote that a few years back. And so it's a great song we always find to kind of just set the tone and the mood, just to kind of before, normally the first piece we play for our concerts, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you are now going to listen to Guy's Garage from the virtual concert.
Gonna haul off lighted bodies on down to the gas garage. Gonna haul off lighted bodies on down to the gas garage. But our speeds won't be broken. Our speeds won't be broken. Speeds won't be broken. Because we got our entourage. Up hanging with G-Dub. He knows where it's at. Up hanging with Daddy Octa. He knows where it's at. We'll growl at the moon. We'll growl at the moon. Growl at the moon. And howl at them pussycats. Just ask around. If you want to learn a trick or two, just ask around. The boys will meet you halfway. They'll meet you halfway. Meet you halfway. If you just knuckle down.
You are tuning into Accessible Airways on CJSW 9.9 FM. You just listened to Guy's Garage. I am speaking with Graeme Wyman from VAMS out of the Vancouver Adapted Music Society. And that was from the first virtual concert.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about the other ones that you are going to release?
Yeah, for sure. So we I guess to give a little bit of a background, at the end of September, we rented out a space for 5 days, and for the first 3 days, it was all about rehearsals. It's funny enough, none of any of the groups had gotten together to play in about 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just about kind of dusting off the cobwebs and trying some new things. And then we recorded and filmed them over the Thursday, Friday. And so the second concert that we released is an artist from the North Shore by the name of Thora Rogers. So and that one will be up by the time this goes out, probably. And so that one is more of a, the first one's kind of a, the first one with Bigger Dan is more of a funk rock kind of feel. The next one with Thora is more of a kind of country folkish kind of feel.
Okay.
Yeah, and so with that, we have Thora, we have her singing partner Cassie, Dave, and myself again.
Okay. Yeah. I saw the second one that you guys just posted a few days ago. Just looked at it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to let your listeners know, if they go to VAMS.org, under artists and videos, there's a playlist of all the concerts. That's where they'll be found.
Okay. Or if they want to go to YouTube, where else they can find it?
Under the Disability Foundation. And if you just type in Strong X Virtual in the search bar, that's where you'll also be able to find it.
Okay. What kind of adaptations to the instruments do you offer to your clients?
So it really to be honest, it's by a case-by-case basis. It really just depends on what the interest of our clients have, and then really it's working with a sister society of ours by the name of Tetra, and Tetra is actually a nationwide organization. And so essentially, to give an example, say someone who physically isn't able to hold a guitar, but they, have a passion in wanting to learn the guitar. We work with Tetra and build what we call or dub a guitar table, for lack of a better word. And to give your listeners just an idea of what that is, it's basically a guitar would be laid flat on essentially an adapted table. And imagine if you were playing it more like a piano.
Mm-hmm.
Or the way that I always like to talk about it is imagine, Canadian artist Jeff Healey.
Mm-hmm.
So he played it across his lap like a piano. So that's essentially what, we've done. But we've also done, for instance, a client who had a stroke and wasn't able to hold a trumpet. We've built a trumpet stand, so he's able to play with one of his hands instead of having to hold it with both. So it really just depends, again, on a client-by-client basis. But we're always looking forward to trying to try to help any type of client come in and, and help them on their music journey.
Mm-hmm. I get you. I know you said to find the concerts. I know you told me in your email, there's a Q&A on Zoom where they could find that one.
So that we will probably put up on our YouTube. It's actually happening tomorrow night. But this would be, we're calling it our, Strong X virtual backstage pass. So essentially what the run of show would be, we're going to show Danny's concert, then there'll be about a 5-10 minute Q&A. Then Thor's concert will be played, and then same kind of format, a 5-10 minute Q&A. But we'll have that on our YouTube site and as well in the same area, probably under videos on the Vancouver Adapted Music Society page.
Okay. How many concerts are you having over YouTube, and how many different musicians are you going to have?
So we're going to have 4 different concerts that will run up until the end of the year. Essentially what we've kind of been doing is we've had our podcast that we run, which can also be found on the VAMS page under releases, which is called Reimagine Radio.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been interviewing each artist. So I interviewed Danny and had 2 interviews with him, and then the show would come out. Same idea with Thora. Interviewed Thora, had 2 interviews with her, and then her concert video came out. The next one is going to be the band's called Sticks and Tones, and I'd suggest, or I'd really say to your listeners, this is a very unique kind of group because it's just a duo. But it's Dave Simonton again on drums. He actually plays in all 4 groups. But it's also coupled with a person by the name of Jim Maya. And Jim plays what's called the Chapman stick. And essentially, it's like a guitar and bass melded together, but played like a piano. And in the Reimagine Radio podcast, Jim does a much better job of explaining that than I do. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in progressive rock music and you'd like to find out a little bit more about what the Chapman stick is, I definitely highly suggest checking that out.
What kind of topics do you cover on your Reimagine Radio for each specific guest, and how do you decide what to talk about?
It really just most of the time it's just talking about the client's journey through music. We've had different topics as well. Like we've interviewed the CEO of Roland Canada because again Roland's been a big supporter of ours. But it's mainly how did you get into music? What was it like starting off? How what may have been some of the challenges that's given you a disability? Again, how has your writing changed since the pandemic. Again, with these concert series, what was it like playing with people or playing with your bands for the first time in 7 months? So that was, again, it was a very special thing to actually get back together and play in that kind of format.
Mm-hmm. Like, how is it different from the live ones to the ones you had in the past, from live to now? How's it different?
Yeah, exactly, right? Because you're playing, and if we were doing it live, normally, you'll get some interaction with the audience after. So it's kind of it was a very different process, but still a lot of fun. That's for sure.
It looks a very different process because you guys look like you're in a studio of some sort.
Yeah, we rented a space out, if your listeners know about Granville Island in Vancouver, which is kind of in the middle of the city. And yeah, it's mainly, I feel, more used for rehearsals or dance halls, like for dance performers. But it met our needs great. It was perfectly accessible, ground floor access. Perfect amount of space with, having the social distance and everything like that. So, it was different, right? I think, given this year, we all have to just kind of, accommodate or pivot as we go along. And so this was just, again, the main thing was it's all about the music, right?
Yeah, I would agree. Graeme, could you tell me a little bit more about the song called Love's Sanctorium?
So that tune, I honestly, that was Danny's. Danny came to that before the group had started, and he tried it out a lot with busking. I remember, and the iteration that we have today the main concept is there, but it definitely changed. I think myself, so more than Dave in this particular one, Danny and I really kind of worked on the arrangement. Cutting down sections, kind of changing some things up. But it's actually my personal favorite out of anything, and both the guys know this. This isn't a surprise to Danny or Dave, but it's probably it is my favorite of all the songs we play. It just really has a great, nice groove. It has a nice message, and lets me really kind of explore on the bass a bit more, which I always enjoy.
We're now going to listen to Love's Sanctorium.
in the band. Is this love sanatorium? Tease me more, candy girl. Hold your rapper close to your pearl. Her colors burst like a passion's do. Free me now. Let's get together somehow. Free me now. Let's get together somehow. Locked in my mind. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Locked in my room. Whoa, whoa. Locked in your gaze. Whoa, whoa. Locked in this maze. Whoa, whoa. Pinned in this what before. I know there's nowhere to hide. Been in this war before. I know there's nowhere to hide. Many directions in the mind, feeling gathers in the band. Is this love sanatorium? Many directions in the mind, feeling gathers in the band. This is love sanatorium.
So, you are tuning in to Accessible Airwaves. That was Love Sanatorium from VAMS Virtual Concert. I'm joined with Graeme from VAMS. What's next for VAMS, and when is the next concert?
So the next virtual concert will be out in about 3 weeks. I believe that's December 9th, around there, or 11th. And then we'll follow that up with a final one, the cap off the year. And so those two are coming up next. And then, again, those will be coupled with the podcast. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Graeme, for talking to me.
My pleasure, sir.
And thank you. That was me and Graeme. I was talking with Graeme over the phone, and he was from the Vancouver Adapted Music Society. So if you missed any of those virtual concerts, just look on YouTube, the Disability Foundation. You have been tuning to Accessible Airways on CJSW 90.9 FM. If you missed any latest episodes, you can go to cjsw.com or Spotify or any other podcast apps.